See this, there are two questions here. So this is first question and the second one. If capital G equal to 1357 is a group with respect to multiplication modulo 8. So you need not remember this symbol, they will verbally describe what it means. You need not by heart any symbols at all, they will always verbally describe it. Okay. Which of the following is not true? So not true. Okay, which means you have to find out which one is false. So if this is a group with respect to 8, multiplication modulo 8, then every element should have inverse, and also that should have a identity element. Just see this, is it having identity element? Yes, it is having identity element, and every element should have a inverse, right? So let's see what is the inverse of 1. So inverse of 1 is 1 itself, because 1 into 1 is simple. See this, inverse of 1 is 1 into 1 is 1, and when you divide 1 with 8, the remainder is going to be 1, which means we got the identity element. Therefore inverse of 1 is 1. And what about 3? Inverse of 3 into 3 is 9, and when you divide 9 with 8, the remainder is going to be 1. Therefore inverse of 3 is 3 itself. And similarly 5 into 5 is 25, and when we divide 25 with 8, the remainder is going to be 1. Therefore 5 is the inverse of 5, isn't it? So how am I doing this? Because I'm just trying to find out how to get the identity element. See, if you didn't understand this, you can go with the tabular method. You can find the table and then you can easily do that. So other one is 7 into 7. 7 into 7 is 49, and we know that when you divide 49 with 8, the remainder is going to be 1. Therefore 7 is the inverse of 7. So all the elements are inverses of themselves, right? So if you are not able to find it directly, how did I do it? I just felt that okay, this way it would be, by intuition. But then if you are not able to get this, then you can draw the table and then see where you are going to get 1 in the table, and then you can find out where you get. Okay, so in case if you draw the table, also you will get like this, 1357, 1357. I think you will get ones in the diagonal places. The reason is 1 is the inverse of 1, 3 is the inverse of 3, like this. Okay, fine. So what are the options here? The inverse of 1 is 1, true. Inverse of 3 is 3, true. Inverse of 5 is 7, false. Inverse of 5 is actually 5, right? And inverse of 7 is 7, true. Next one is, which of the following is a group? And they are talking about multiplication mod 6 and addition mod 6. I already told you that in case of addition mod m, the elements that should be present are 0 to m minus 1. In case of multiplication mod m, the elements that should be present are S6. Then only we are going to get this set. Now see this, multiplication mod 6. Now if you observe the multiplication mod 6, this set should have been S6. S6 means all the numbers should be relatively prime to 6. But then here if you see it, 2 is not relatively prime to 6, 3 is not relatively prime to 6, and 4 is not relatively prime to 6, which means these all numbers are not relatively prime to 6. So we cannot say that it is a group. But then we should not, so just see the reason. If you can find out the reason, it is fine. First of all, is it having identity element? Yes. But then is closure property satisfied? That might fail. Some of the property that will definitely fail because of the presence of the elements which are not relatively prime to 6. Now if you see this, 2 and 3, if you multiply 2 and 3, the result is going to be 6, and if you divide 6 with 6, the denominator is going to be 0. But then that 0 is not there, therefore it is not closed, so it cannot be abelian structure at all. So group is a different, therefore it is definitely not a group because it cannot be this algebraic structure, which means it is not closed. Okay, and next this one is, see this, 0 to n minus 1 are there, but then it is multiplication mod 6, not addition mod 6, right? So again you can find out some reason. Okay, so here if you see the earlier one, it failed because you have taken 2 into 3, and then you have shown that 2 into 3 is 6, and 6 mod 6 is 0. 0 was not there, so they have added 0 here. Now will the addition of 0 make it a group? right? Earlier 0 was not present, and that was the reason we have shown, and we said that it is not a group. Now they have given the 0 also. Will it make a difference now? Just check it. 0 has been added, fine, but then the problem is there will be no inverse to 0 in case of multiplication, because whatever you multiply 0 with, always the result is going to be 0. You are not going to get the identity element. Okay, first of all you should understand what will be the identity element here. In case of multiplication mod 6, identity element is going to be 1. Always in case of multiplication, identity element is going to be 1. In case of addition, identity element is going to be 0, right? In this case, identity element is 0. Therefore, in order to find the inverse of 0, you should find out a number with which if you multiply 0, the result should be 1. But then you can never get that, because whatever number you multiply 0 with, the result is always going to be 0. Got it? Therefore, it is not possible, right? So we can say that it is not a group, right? And the next one is 1 2 3 4 5 6 with respect to multiplication mod 7. Now if you observe this, it is perfect. It is actually S7, which means this is set of all numbers which are less than 7, which are relatively prime to 7, right? These are all set of numbers which are less than 7 and which are relatively prime to 7. So what can we say about it? So we can directly say that it is a group. We have already seen it. Now if you want it, you can go to the tabular method and test it, but it is going to take a lot of time. But if you remember it, it is directly, right? So how did I get this? Because these are all the set of integers which are less than 7, which are relatively prime to 7, and that set you can write it as S7, and S7 and multiplication mod 7, I told you that it is a group, right? And what about this? If you see this, it is addition mod 7. In case of addition mod 7, I told you that the numbers that should be present should be from 0 to n minus 1, 0 to 6. But in this case, 1 to 6 are there, which means 0 is missing. If 0 is missing, what difference could it make? Simple. In case of addition, 0 is the identity element. Now if you don't have 0, there is no identity element. If you don't have identity element, it cannot be monoid. If it cannot be monoid, it cannot be a group. Therefore, it is not a group. So only C is the group. Okay.
Hi, if you are planning to do masters, then doing masters abroad is better than doing masters in India. I'll give you all the reasons. So, first reason is, out of 1 lakh students who take GATE every year, there are only 500 seats in old IITs. So all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%, and IITs, universities better than IITs, they have very good acceptance rate like 30%, 40%. But all the IITs put together have an acceptance rate of 0.5%. And if you are working hard to get into IIT Bombay's ranking is 177 and IIT Roorkee's ranking is 400. If you are happy to get into IIT Roorkee, then getting into universities better than IIT Roorkee is easier compared to getting into IIT Roorkee. And looking at the salaries for computer science, for software jobs, if you have done your masters in computer science in US, the salaries are ranging from 80 lakhs per year to 1.2 crore per year. So even if you take an average of 1 crore per year, your savings will be much higher than the salaries in India. After taxes and your cost of living, you can easily save 40 to 50 lakhs per year. And in India, the maximum jobs that you get is around 30 lakhs. So your savings will be much greater than the salaries in India. And these are all the services that we provide. University shortlisting. So depending on your profile, we will shortlist what are the universities that you have to apply, and statement of purpose building, and then LOR guidance, and GRE and English test assistance, and education loan assistance. So you don't have to have any collateral, which means without any security, now you can get education loan. Getting education loan is very simple these days, and whatever the amount of fee that you have a range of universities. You can apply for 10 lakh universities, 20 lakh universities, or 50 lakh universities. But whatever it is, you are going to get complete education loan, and you can pay off your education loan in 1 year after you get a job. And then we do visa assistance, mock visa interviews, and then connecting with the university alumni. So now you might ask why we should join Game of Visas. So the answer is we have 90% success rate, 99% success rate. And these are all the destinations that we guide the students to. So we guide students to any country that you want to go. So now it is not just USA. We guide to UK, Germany, Australia, Canada. So we guide students to all the countries. We work with all the destinations. And if you are interested in going abroad, you have to just drop us a message on this WhatsApp number 9494 555 454. Okay, thank you.